Good evening. It's the Ask Dr. Renee show. I'm your host, Dr. Renee. And this
wasn't
show is
me.
here.
We late because she started late. It wasn't me. I was here. I've been sitting here.
Oh, Lord, it's going to be
I've been waiting to talk to y'all.
guys.
It's not me. It's Dr. Renee. She is the one while we coming up at 5 after. I know y'all been sitting there wondering where we been. We've been right here just talking. I told her to hit the button, but go ahead, Dr. Renee.
Okay.
I'm just a guest on your show. Go ahead.
We are here to. No, he doesn't have the red cup. Okay, this is going to be a
that's
really
water,
great
though.
hour.
It's water.
I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it.
Well, you're going to have to because I told you.
Okay, so this show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve. And as you see, our guest tonight is Junior, which actually many of you may not know what he looks like, but you've heard him every morning, Monday through Friday on the Steve Harvey Morning Show.
I know what I look like. People know what I look like. I be around the country.
I know you, but not everybody made it out to the show.
She said that like I just don't want nobody to know me. I mean, let me put my hat down my head.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Dr. Renee.
Oh, Lord, help us. Lord, help us. Okay.
People ain't supposed to see me. Go ahead, Dr. Renee.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so everybody, we are here.
I have some sense.
If you haven't seen the show before, we've had other guests that weren't so funny, unfortunately, but they were great guests. Please go to my channel, Ask Dr. Renee channel on YouTube if you're watching us anywhere else, because you might be watching on Facebook or anywhere. But and you can also go to my website and see all the past shows. But let's just get to it. Our guest tonight is Kier Spates, better known as Junior, from the Steve Harvey Morning Show. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here. I want to thank you for having me, Dr. Renee. As you know, I am so elated to be here at 9 o'clock at night to do this with you and hang out and discuss, and this is really, really what I've been looking forward to all day long. And I'm glad it's here. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad. So
I am elated. I've never done this before. This is really cool to do a webinar. I've never done one, so I'm kind of amazed at the technology that we're using because I can't do technology like that. It took me a minute to get up and get on here.
No, you did fine though.
But I did it though. I did it.
Right, and I didn't have to call you because some people I have to call.
You was nervous. I know you was nervous though. You was nervous. Yeah, you was scared because I didn't pop up till 55 before the hour. I know 5 before the hour. You was nervous. I had you scared. I know it. And I was scared for you because our show was stuck. I downloaded it about 6 times. I just want you to know that. I downloaded that plug-in 6 times. Just want you to know. I was tapping. I was double-clicking.
Lord have mercy. So can you please, so for those that don't know, Junior is from Houston, Texas. So can you tell us, how was it growing up in Houston, Texas? Did you have any siblings? And what did you want to be when you grew up?
It was hot. It's hot in Houston, Texas. It's hot. That's all I took from my childhood was heat. You had to work in the heat, cut yard in the heat. We started in Houston, born in Houston, Texas. And then when I was about 7 or 8, my dad's job got transferred. Then we moved to Dallas. So I lived in Dallas, Texas for about 8 years, about 7 or 8 years, something like that. And then we came back to Houston. And, it's a good thing being from Texas. Hospitality is a big thing you're raised on. And, you learn how to treat people. And, it really is seriously about how you treat people when you're growing up. I have a sister, and then I have 2 half sisters. Okay. I don't like to call them half sisters, but I'm just saying that because everybody doesn't know. I want to say I have 3 sisters. Just want to know that my dad has, I have some other siblings my father had after him and my mother divorced. And so, I had 1 sister growing up in the house. That was it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, and what age did your parents were you when they got a divorce?
About 18, 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My dad, he was smart. He wasn't gonna pay child support on 2 of us. Somebody got to go. He made sure he stayed there till I left. Yeah. Then he's all right. It's over. I can't make it work.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's what he did. I know that's what he did. Okay. He ain't gonna say that, but that's what he did, though.
Okay.
I know what he did.
Is this what did you want to be when you grew up? Were you always the funny one in class? I've heard Steve's story about how he was, and he said this is what he wanted to do.
I knew this is what I was going to be doing when I was about 14
Okay.
years old. And
what happened?
you've always, well, it's just like that moment of clarity. It's like, you had an epiphany. It's like you could see yourself, doing what I'm doing. I could just, I just saw it. I was watching a Def Jam, and I just remember just a moment, and something just said, that's what you'll be doing. But you was already on that path anyway. Come on, you've already heard it. People pretty much tell you what you would be good at doing in life. You hear it all the time, like, you should be a comedian. Oh my God, you're so funny. You hear that, all the time, and it was true, because I was the guy. If you was feeling down, if you was having a bad day or something, you just let me come around, and we just changed that whole atmosphere. And that's what my job was to my friends. It didn't matter how serious the situation was, how bad it was, you just let me come in, just let me sit around. I don't even have to know you're having a bad day. It's just, I'm easily distracted by shiny objects, like they say. It just didn't matter. You could be having a rough day, and you just let me come around. It was always me in the Commons in the morning. Not a class clown, because I was a straight A student. I didn't have I wasn't a class clown. I was like the class entertainer. Like if the teacher asked me to read, I would read it as another character. What I'm saying? I would read it as somebody funny. And it didn't matter whoever was on TV. I'd read like Jesse Jackson or something, or Dr. King. And we'd be in history class. She'd be like, Kier, could you please read this chapter, this paragraph right here? I said, I sure will. And I start, what I'm saying, in 1842, and it just started going like that, and the whole class would be cracking up, at the beginning of the Civil War. I would just start, doing stuff like that, and the teachers would just love it. They would love it. Sometimes I'd imitate the teacher, but in the 6th grade, Miss Wilson had given me 10 minutes on every Friday if we passed our test the week before to go up and entertain the class. They just like
Have
every
you went
Friday.
back to visit her now that you've made it?
She's passed.
Oh, okay.
I said 6th grade. She was already 40 something then. But yeah, she had passed on. But
Okay.
I would like to have gone back and told her that, because she really did wonders for my confidence. Because I was, I was a little scrawny little dude in the 6th grade. I was, I hadn't filled in yet. I just hadn't hit that spurt. So, I just looked awkward. But I was just funny, just being me. And it got so serious to where the class was like, come on, y'all, we got to, pass this test, or Kier ain't gonna be able to perform this Friday. And they'd be serious.
I'm sure they were.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I jump in. Yeah, been working on this stuff all week for y'all. All the type of stuff.
So did you write your jokes then, or did you just went from, okay.
I wrote some stuff down, some stuff I had to do, stuff I see us in class doing, some substitute teachers we had, it was all kinds of stuff. It could be, what happened at the football game we was in last week, because I was on the football team, and we weren't the best football team at that time, but golly, some of the huddle conversations and stuff like that I'd share with the class. And it was just random, crazy stuff. Whatever happened at home, what happened at church, something my grandmother may have done. It was just a bunch of characters, around all the time.
That is too cool. So I have to say, the way that we met was I was at brunch with Cupid, and Cupid left me with him. And oh my God, I think I almost had indigestion, because Junior had me laughing, and it was the story about a funeral, and I felt terrible, but I literally, tears in my eyes, was like,
I told you about my cousin's funeral. Yeah, we did. We laughed. That story always.
Wait a minute, but it wasn't even just the story. Then he calls his mother, and she confirms what he's saying is true.
Yeah, because people think I'll be making it up. I'm not that good. I can't make that type of stuff. I can't pull nothing like that out the air. No comedian is that good to pull. There has to be, whatever you're laughing at that's that hard, there has to be some amount of truth to it. And, just to, that funeral, when I go to funerals, I always compare funerals to that funeral. Because I'm actually judging funeral. I feel bad for this, but, they ain't put him away, right? Forget the person gone. I'm just sitting there and this wasn't a good one. It didn't beat, it didn't beat my cousin's funeral. That's wrong because it's a funeral we talk about. But yeah, that was the one. I'm telling y'all would have loved that.
Oh God, it was something else. But
It was.
So then I have to tell you, my mother is going to shoot me, but I have to tell you that when I was younger, people kept telling me, and they still tell me, I'm hilarious, you're so funny, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking, we had a talent show at summer camp. I'm going to do stand-up comedy, not piano that I've been practicing and playing for probably up to that point. It had been probably 7 or 8 years. No, I'm going to do stand-up. My mother said she was dying in her seat. She's like, this is horrible. The girl's not funny. She is not funny at all.
But the point is, though, you don't see it, though. In your mind, I am up here killing them. All right. Saw a snake today. Saw a snake. It crawled by. Ha! Get it? Crawled by. Ooh. The little feedback come through. Ooh.
I remember that I gave a couple knock jokes. I remember that.
Knock.
My mother was like, "Oh God, let this be over soon. Let this be over soon."
This is what Dr. Renee did. She said, "Knock. Who's there? Knock. Who's there? Knock. Who's there? Won't you come to the door? Ha!" Like, whose child is this?
Well, I was the only black at camp, so my mother was sinking in her seat because I was the only black person at camp.
They had no problem finding out who baby was.
No problem figuring out whose child that was.
They all turned around.
Exactly. So I'm gonna leave comedy to comedians. That ain't my lane. I'm staying my lane. So I'm a good laugher. I attend the shows and I laugh my butt off. I'm sure you're familiar with Royale Watkins. That's my big brother. Love him to pieces.
You know Royale Watkins, yeah.
Of course, everybody does. So he's been on my show too, and I've been to several of his shows. And
I used to watch Royale Watkins when I was about 14, 15, watching him do his thing, man. I mean, there was so many comedians. It became like a passion to want to find out, how many different ways could people be funny. It's so many different ways. There's so many different styles. It's so many different experiences in life. And he had one of the most interesting ones. I was watching him. I crack up now. He's just that guy come out of nowhere. You don't think he finna be funny, but he is absolutely hilarious.
Mm-hmm. We watched him on Def Comedy Jam. And then when he was on the show, I learned that he actually produced the whole season of the show. Had no idea.
Yeah, because we don't really read producers and stuff when we're that young.
Until now I do, of course.
But now I know, I read them now. I know who they are now and why they're there. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Now we know. Yeah. But I had no idea. But so what was your first comedy show? Where did you get on stage? Where was the first big break? Or not even big break. The first show you did.
Oh man. The first show I did was at a comedy club in Houston called Just Joking. Just Joking Comedy Club was where all the black acts would go perform at, So the first thing you have to do in comedy is you got to go find you a comedy club, and that's what you call your home base. That's where you develop your craft at and everything. And the first time I had went on a Thursday night, I drove down from college. It was about like an hour and a half ride, an hour and 20-minute ride to the comedy club, me and my best friend, one of my roommates. And we're in there and we're in the back and we're talking about this guy's shoes for about like an hour. Me and the guy, I didn't even know he was the comedian though. So we just back here just joning on this guy's shoes for like an hour and a half because the shoes was crazy. It was tennis shoes, but they had like a curve in it, and we were just back there just talking about his shoes, about, how, all the stuff he could do with them shoes turned up, just a bunch of stuff. We just, about an hour and a half, we back there. So then the guy I was talking about, the other guy with the shoes with, he just shoots off and goes on stage and starts telling jokes, and I was like, hey man, I didn't even know he was a comedian. I didn't know, because they were having an Apollo night thing. So he was the host for it. So then after that, he comes up to me and he's like, hey man, I think you can really do this. And remember, I told you back in 14 that I had that moment of clarity. I said, this is what I'll be doing. Funny how that moment just happened to find. And I went back to that moment. I was like, I was scared. And I was like, nah. My best friend was like, man, go on there and do that, man. You do that to how. But he really wants to support you, but he really doing it for different reasons. Because if it don't go well, he want to go back to the house and tell the other roommate, y'all should have seen this fool. He said, so I got nervous. I chickened out. And then the guy said, well, man, I'm here all weekend. I mean, I really think you should come back on Friday when it's a structured show. And you should come up here and do about 5 minutes, man. Come on, just come back. So, the next night I didn't go. So I went back on that Saturday night. And when I walked in the door, the dude was like, oh, man, you back. All right, I'm going to put you up in just a second. I'm telling you that you're going to go up and all that. And I went up there and I did the 5 minutes. And I didn't know 5 minutes could be that long.
Long, right?
Yeah, it was so quiet in there. Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Like you be up on stage. No, they were cool. They ain't boo me. They ain't where I got booed at. I got a few little chuckles and stuff like that, because it's one thing about being funny with your friends, stuff like that, because they know you, but then to make a room full of strangers laugh, I haven't learned that technique yet. I hadn't learned that. I'm just up here trying to just be Kier. I'm just up here just talking, about anything. I didn't know nothing about writing nothing down, all that type of stuff. I'm just up here just, just talking. And man, I mean, the one joke that got me laugh was about that earlier that week. I had went to a soul food restaurant, and the guy in front of me was a white guy, and the way we talk about ordering food was completely different than they order food. I said, I go up there, I want some collard greens, some yams, and some oxtail smothered. I said, that guy behind me, I never knew the correct pronunciation of yams. I didn't know you could say it that way. Collards of greens. I didn't know. So, he ordered his food. He said, may I have some collards of greens, please? May I have yams? Smothered oxtail. I was like, wow, I didn't know that's how we were supposed to say it. And that was the joke that they were laughing because they could identify with that. But it was just, just hearing soul food like that don't have to say. I wouldn't want to eat no collards of greens. And that was my first joke, and then I heard somebody drop a glass in the kitchen, it was like, it was that quiet again, like, cling, cling. So, well, let me get off stage. I'm gonna go ahead and go.
What was your major in college?
Engineering.
Did you graduate?
No, I didn't. I was going to engineering because that's what they told me I was going to do. I said that my parents.
I was an engineering major too. I was told too.
And I was dying. I was unhappy, But that same comedian came back about 2 weeks later, and he actually called me to come back out. He's like, man, if you're going to do this, man, you got to really stay in here. So I need you to come down this weekend and work these shows with me. And then before I knew it, I was just a regular comedian. I would be in the club for like a year though before I actually touched the stage. I was in there like a year. I would be there every weekend. That was the only thing I did. I just sat in comedy clubs and I watched Lavelle Crawford, Corey Holcomb, Rodney Winfield, Cat in the Hat. That was before Cat Williams. He was Cat in the Hat.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back then, I mean, I saw so many acts. I mean, Ari Spears, I saw everybody came through there, and it was crazy, and I was, actually opened up for some of these guys about a year later, and I actually was learning the craft. It was like that year I sat there and I was just learning about how to do comedy. I didn't know, and I had my mentor, Rodney Winfield, who was really big back in the '60s, and he used to be Rodney Winfield. You know, Richard Pryor used to open for Rodney Winfield. I mean, that's how much of a legend he was, man. He, you know, I had him, and he was living in Houston at the time, and he was my mentor. You know, he used to talk real crazy, like executive. You know, he called me executive because I was going to school to be an engineer and everything. He's like, executive, I'm telling you right now. Whatever they say, that was the first rule he gave me to comedy. The first rule of comedy is don't listen to nobody. You know, that was his whole thing. And actually, it was true because comedy is an individual. It's an individual journey. Nobody in comedy has the same journey. You can't mimic your career or, you know, your style, you know, or whatever your journey is. You can't take your experiences from somebody else's experience. You just have to tell your experiences. And that's what it takes a lot of young comics sometimes to develop, because they finally figured out, wait a minute, I just got to talk about it from my point of view. And that's what makes you love all the comedians that you see now. That's why you love Steve Harvey, because his point of view. That's why you love Martin. That's why you love Bernie. And that's why Sid and DL, and nobody's trying to out funny anybody. They're all funny. That's what made the King of Comedy work, because they were all so funny and they all had different experiences with comedy. That's why it was the highest grossing tour at the time. You know, no tour had made that much money. You know, and that's why they broke all these records and attendance records, because they had put all their efforts. They were already selling out on their own. They just combined all four of them guys together, and they made history, and they changed actually how we tour today. You know, I mean, they paved the way for why you see Kevin Hart over at Lincoln Field like that in Philadelphia selling out. I mean, you know, every level evolved. You know, it's from, you know, if you see us today, we're all, I like to say, we're all descendants. If you their style, we're all descendants of Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor had opened up the way that we talk about ourselves. Richard Pryor was the first one to really just go out and just do his own self. You know, after he set himself on fire, you know, and the way he took a serious moment like that and made us laugh hard. Hey, man, what's that? Fire, you know, all you know, that I'll never forget that. You know, watching those guys do that, and then you just started getting that passion for wanting to be, you know, able to walk into a room if they're all sitting there and they say, "Hey, man, we proud of you." That's the goal of what comedians should do. You know, our goal is to make sure that we elevate the craft one level better than what we found it.
So. What did your family say when you decided this is what you were going to do for a living?
I'll tell you right now. No, thought I was absolutely crazy. Yeah, they thought I was crazy. No, for real. They talked about, do you want to get talked about in your family? Do something against what they want you to do. Right. I'll tell you right now, bad information in the Black family travel fast. Like, I had made the announcement 20 minutes later, everybody knew. It took 20 minutes for every individual related to me to know that I was doing comedy. And my grandmother was on that hotline working, because I told him, I said, hey, look, you know, I really think I'm going to do stand-up, you know. And my mom and dad act like I was like, you know, how you let the Jehovah's Witness in your house and how you look at them while they sitting there talking. And they're gonna ask you to leave in a minute, but that's how they was looking at it. They was puzzled. This stuff was making no sense to them. You know, they were like, what? And you know, my dad, I remember he put it clear. He said, man, I'm not sending you to school to be no fool. You know, and that's what they thought about it though. Cause you know, to me this was serious. I am, you said I could come, this was made it bad because y'all said I could come to you with anything. Now I come in here with my dream, and y'all crush it. Man, I ain't never seen my mama get up and go, and I can hear my grandmother, and she said, "What?" She said, "Oh, this good here." And then she just called everybody, and then the next family function, because we got together every Friday. So I go into my grandmother's house. I could hear, they had definitely had the screen door and they had the door open, and that long sidewalk to lead up to that front door. I could see her sitting in her chair, and she just let everybody in the house know, here he come, y'all. Here he come. Here come Mr. Comedian. And, I'm sitting there with, my head down. I'm walking in the door, and she was like, "How much we make this week, Mr. Comedian?" I said,
"Oh God."
I said, $35. Huh? $35, Grand. Oh hell, he made $35, y'all. He finna buy the chicken tonight. so that's how they viewed me. I mean, it was brutal. It was the hardest thing that I had ever gone through, because I really don't understand why you didn't think it was possible for me. But then in turn, that became the fire that you needed. That became the gas. The first time my mother had ever seen me do stand-up was in 2001. I had been in comedy about a year and a half, and I was doing BET's Comedy View, my first appearance on BET's Comedy View, when Bruce was hosting. And it was down in New Orleans at the Orpheum Theater, and they actually called me to come down and be a part of that show. And that was my first television appearance. And and the same people that said I couldn't do comedy was the same ones in the audience. They go, my baby, I even forgot what y'all said though.
Right.
That's how I'm doing, But but then they were all right with it because they could see progress. Because, in that year and a half, for that TV show and everything, I mean, it was rough. It's rough. Golly, that's what gets me about some of these other comments. I'm not judging. I just want to understand what the sacrifice is. Everybody think they want, to do what Junior's doing, but you got to make the sacrifice. I really wish I get to you. I'll let you have it, but this is a nonstop gig. This is 24/7, 7 days a week. I mean, there is no break. You don't get breaks. I don't get vacations. I don't get family time. The sacrifices that I make on a daily basis, most people be like, man, I don't know why you're doing this. I had to leave home. I had to leave where all my family was in Houston. I don't have any family here in Atlanta. I don't see them like we were very tight-knit family, and now you take that away from me, and I'm out here on this journey now. It's a different level, but the sacrifice I had to make, it was a lot of people who were very, very upset at what I was doing. They figured I was really throwing my life away. But like I told you, at 14, I had already seen myself doing what I said I was going to do. And no matter at that club that night, how was it possible for me to be standing there talking to a comedian, didn't know it, and then until I go see him jump on stage? See, the thing about it is, I really don't think you really are passionate about something unless you've tried to quit 7 times. Something about you love it so much that you just rather walk away from it, but you never do. You never do. But in those moments of conflict and confusion is where a lot of your understanding comes about why you love doing what you do. I understood in those moments that I wanted to quit was when the fire began to burn back even harder, and hotter. It was like, man, I can't quit. I had talked myself into going back. But the more I tried to quit, the more doors would start opening and saying, you sure you want to leave this opportunity right here? I said, man, this is my last day doing comedy. I'm tired of this. Hey, you want to come take Comedy View? You say what? I'm back in it. I got it. I got it. I'm back in it. And all along my career, I've had a lot of those moments. Man, I have drove all the way to Alabama for $75. I'm losing money on this trip. And then get there and don't get the $75. While I'm on stage, the promoter walking out the back door. I see him, but I still went on and did the show. I know what it's like to go through those hardships for something that you desire, my only goal, the only thing I had asked the Lord to do for me was to allow me to make the world laugh. That's all I had asked for. I didn't ask to be famous. I didn't ask to be rich. I didn't do any of that. Just the pure part of what laughter can do for an individual is the only joy I experience. Just that part alone. That's what gets me going. That's watching people go from a face of defeat to a face of joy in a matter of seconds. That's what real comedy is. That's the magic of it. I don't know how it works like that, but that's just what it is. I don't know why the Bible says that medicine doeth the heart good. I don't know laughter does the heart good. I don't know why it says that, but that's just what it is. I don't know what happens in that release, and it's nothing like when people come to me and say, hey man, I really needed that laugh. Man, I swear to you, I really needed that. I had one experience with a guy, in Dallas. I didn't even want to go. That's the sad part. But I didn't even want to go to Dallas to go do this show. I just didn't feel like driving. I was just having one of them days. I just didn't want to do it. But I went on down there and I did the show. And after the show, I'm going out the back door and there's a guy downstairs and he's waiting on me. And he said, man, can I talk to you for a second? And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm finna get robbed right here outside the comedy club because it's dark back here. I'm looking both ways. I don't know what's going on. But well, I go down there, and he said, man, can I talk to you for a second? Yeah. And as we walking back to our cars, we were parked kind of like side by side, like an empty space with his car and my car. And we stand between the vehicles and we're talking. He's like, man, I really needed that laugh, man. He said, man, I really needed that. He said, thank you. Thank you for that. He said, man, because I was going to end my life tonight. He was like, man, I'm just going to go in here and have a laugh. I won't come out here to this car and I was going to shoot myself. And I looked in his car and there's a gun sitting right there on the middle console at the top. And that's when I realized, like, wow. And man, so me and the guy went and hung out at IHOP. That's like my little spot I like to go to at the time. After I finished the show, I would go to IHOP and we sit up, we ate breakfast and we just talked. And come to find, he had caught his wife in bed with another man when he went home, And he just, he's like, man, I give her the world. She don't have to work. All these different things. He said, why would I do all these sacrifices still? He gave her the kid that he wanted, that she wanted, and he did all these sacrifices. He said, I think I'm a good, hard-working, honest man, and he was really crushed. But the point of it was, I was mad at myself because I didn't want to go. I just got caught up in my own emotion about not going. But if I would not have gone, I can't say what was going to happen. But I just thank God that I did go. And I said, okay, Lord, well, from that point on, I made my mind that wherever I need to go, I go. I don't question it anymore. I just go. Now you understand what the purpose of it is. You don't know who life you could be changing just because of your mere presence, because of the way it was laid out. And so that's what comedy is for Kier. That's what it is. That's why I do it the way I do it. That's why my job is to make you laugh as hard as you can for as long as you can. If I don't walk off stage and I'm not physically drained, like I can't do no more, then I have not done my job. I release my entire self. I let it. I just let it all go. I don't judge myself, nothing. But I just let it go, and then what comes out of that is just what's the benefit for the people that come. That's how I approach it. So
that's amazing. But I mean, I've heard friends that are comedians. I'm like, I didn't know so much went into it. And I was like, I've learned so much in the last 4 years between Royale, London Brown, Lonnie Love. I'm like, oh my God, this is a lot, really.
Yeah,
it's not just get up there and talk.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah. So first of all, where did the name Junior come from?
Steve.
Okay, I had a feeling.
He didn't want to say Kier.
Okay. Well, that's because Steve has trouble with names. We all know that.
Yeah. He said, I'm gonna call. He said, you little. I'm gonna call you Junior. That's what I'm gonna call you. I said,
So,
you call me crazy as long as you're gonna pay me. I'm good.
Right. As long as you spell my name right on the check, that's my thing. Just
Don't
spell
get that
my name
wrong.
right on the check.
Don't get it wrong. But that's where it came from, man. That's where it came
So
from.
how did you get on Steve Harvey's radar? Because he has said you are the next big thing. So how did you get on his radar?
You know, man, first of all, you know, that guy, you know, Steve Harvey, man, if there's ever a mentor to have, he would be the one. I really cannot. It's so much more than jokes, you know, with our relationship. It's the conversations and the golden nuggets that he drops for me that I pick up, you know, and actually watching him walk the walk and talk the talk. You know, people think Steve is, you know, like, I don't understand. Well, you don't. If you knew him, then you wouldn't say that. You know, you can only judge him by what you see. And what I see is a man who does what he says he's gonna do. You know, and so I met Steve in 2002. His business partner, Rashawn McDonald, was he's from Houston, and Rashawn called me to come out to LA to do a showcase for their company. And man, this is, you know, I'm like, okay. And I'm going out there, man. We're doing a scene from this play. Me and another comedian doing the scene. We weren't even doing stand-up. We were doing the acting, doing a scene from this play called Jitney. And during the rehearsals and stuff like that, Steve came to one of the rehearsals, and then after that, we went to lunch. And I'm sitting like directly across the table from Steve, and I'm really figuring out how in the world I got here. You know, I'm looking around.
Right.
I'm sitting with Steve Hart. I'm talking about Steve. You know, I know this is the old Steve too. You know, this ain't the Steve you see today, but it's the and then after that, you know, Rashawn had to go take care of some business, and I was gonna leave Rashawn, and Steve was like, "Nah, I got him. He just ride me for the rest of the day. I'll see you. We'll meet up tonight." You know, because Steve had a thing he did on Wednesday nights at the El Rey in LA on Wednesday night. Stupidly hilarious stuff I've ever seen. You know, but so we go, you know, back to his place, and he's on the phone talking the whole night, and we just riding around, and I'm just watching, you know, and he goes out there, does his thing, and I'm just trying to figure out how in the world
did I get here?
You know, I keep walking into these places. Like, he gets out the truck. He was staying at this place in Beverly Hills. He had a penthouse on the top floor, and then the view, you walk out on this balcony, and it's just the Pacific Ocean. And it was a full moon. I'm just looking. I'm like, God, I didn't know you could live like this. Like, it was, you know, it's like, you know, I thought we didn't make that much money as comedians. I had never knew, you know, because the money they had paid me to be on TV was $1,000. I figured everybody got $1,000. You know, right. I'm trying to figure out how in the world everybody 1,000 do this. You know, it's like how many times was he on TV? How many thousands did they pay him? You know, I didn't, because you don't know. You don't know the salaries. You don't know. Because that was the most money I had made at one time. And I was on TV. Okay, hey, my episode I'm on TV. It's just $1,000. They ain't nothing to get excited about it. You know, I don't know. So, you know, I know he was, you know, doing the TV show, the Steve Harvey TV show and when it was Steve Hightower, the sitcom, yeah, mm-hmm. and so I was like, well, maybe they just pay him $1,000 for every time they air episodes. So I was like, man, you can get a lot of stuff for $1,000, you know, because this is absolutely mind blowing. I mean, right, all the stuff when Steve says he's 70s to the heart, that's no lie, because I had never seen shag carpet before. You know, I wasn't in the shag carpet era. And I walked in Steve, you know, I walked in behind Steve, you know, had the lights off in the hallway. So we walked in the penthouse, and my ankle and shoe had disappeared somewhere in the shag carpet. In the shag carpet. I'm talking about this carpet was just, you know, you feel something on the back of your calf. It was so deep. I was like, golly, this carpet is thick. I said, what's this, man? He said, this shag carpet here. You know, he's really that type of dude, man. You know, nice soft music playing in there and everything. And so after that, you know, we had to do the performance that we had been down there rehearsing for. And so me and Al did our scene, and after that, I remember seeing Steve that night, and he was like, "Hey man," he said, "Man, I'm gonna see you again, man." I said, "I don't know where." I said, "I'm gonna see you again." And then the next time I see Steve Harvey is 2009. I get a phone call, and Steve was like, "Hey man," he's like, "I got a show." His people called and said they got a show in Miami, and Steve wants to know, do you want to open up for him? You know. And I was like, "Well, who said no?" Because somebody had said no for it to get to me. So I'm not gonna say that. I don't care what gig I had, it just got canceled.
Right.
You know. And I went to Miami. I did the show in Miami. As I did the show in Miami, he came. I was doing a show in Miami. I came off stage. Steve was right there. He was like, "Man, what the hell is you saying out there?" He said, "I don't come out my dressing room for nobody." He's like, "What the hell is going on?" You know, and it really felt good. You know, it really felt really good to have him say that. You know, and then we talked, and after that, I got another phone call to come to Philly, and then I went to a few other places with him. You know, opened up, and then it's a year later. I don't hear from him. It's like he goes on tour with Kirk Franklin, and it was him and Kirk. They were doing a tour for that summer, 2010. 2010 to 2010, 2011. So about the fall of 2011, I get a phone call, you know, and it's Rashawn McDonald. And he, you know, and they say you get these calls, man. These calls come like once in a lifetime. And they say you're supposed to be ready. You think it's gonna be in an office. They're at this long table, you know. They on one end. They slide the contract down to you. You sign it. No, it didn't happen like that. I was at home watching football. I had a wife beat on, some basketball shorts, some white socks, and some house shoes. And I'm hollering at kids at the time because my nephew and them is around. They getting on my nerve. They just hollering. And I'm on the phone. He said, hey, what's going on, boys? This is Rashawn. I said, hold on back. Sit y'all ass down. I'm on the phone. Go ahead. What's up, bro? That literally, he's like, can you get somewhere quiet where we can talk? Yeah, hold on. So I go outside and I get in the truck. I'm sitting out in my truck, and Rashawn says, hey, these words I'm about to tell you are per Steve Harvey. And he's like, I'm here to talk to you about not your career, but about your future. And that was a big difference in understanding what he was saying, because it's a difference between having your career and having a future. And man, he said, Steve wants you to come be a part of his morning show. He wants to talk to you. He wants to go down to his ranch tomorrow, and he's going to talk to you about some things, you know, and I'm not going to say what those things are, but he want to talk to you about some things. And we want to give you a job on the morning show. And then he's having his grand finale tour, which was Steve's last stand-up tour.
Right.
And he wants you to open up for him. And so you'll be the only comedian on there. And that's what he wants. And I'm just delivering the message. And man, I cannot tell you how long the tears streamed down my face. Because it was just a release, though. It was a release. You know, I finally, after all the stuff I had been through, and I went through it with the right attitude. Even when it got tough, I never complained. Then all the seeds I was planting along the way, I had no idea. If I could have wrote it, I wouldn't have written it this way. I never could have done it that way. I mean, it was, you know, but it was in the due time. You know, it's that moment you say, well, man, maybe God hadn't forgot about me. Uh-oh. I must have been doing something, you know. And the tour was fantastic. And that last tour that he did, I never probably do another tour like that in my life, man. I mean, I cannot tell you how much fun I had being with Steve and the gang every Saturday morning, eating breakfast and just laughing and talking. And then every night before the show, going to Steve. He came to my dressing room, and Steve knocked on my dressing room door and came in. Now you gotta understand, Steve's dressing room got steaks in it, shrimps. It's got like a tree of Coke. Like they actually lay his dressing room out, and he come down here. We're in like some locker rooms because we're doing a stadium size an arena show. So I'm in a locker room getting dressed, and he walked in and he say, "Hey man, you mind if I talk to you for a second?" And I'm looking around trying to figure out why is he down here, because I said, yeah, what's going on, And then I was like, man, I don't want to be rude. I said, hey, I don't want to be rude though, but I appreciate you coming down here. Can I offer you some chicken wings? Because that's all I had. Oh man, he just fell out laughing because he said, boy, you stupid. I said, no, because I don't want to be rude. I know you got steak down there. Man.
Right.
You want one of these chicken wings, let me know. I'm going to put on one of these little sauces, get you one of these little plastic forks. I got a little ranch sauce I can put on your plate. I'll dress it up for you. I just want to know if you want some, so I get busy. No, but we had a conversation. It quickly turned to, about him, retiring, because he's not going to do this again. And he's talking to me about stuff he wants me to do, some of the mistakes he doesn't want me to make, and things that he wanted me to do, and things he would like to see. Just like, as the shows got closer to the end, the more and more the information started coming out, and it was just so refreshing to have that type of information that you can't get nowhere else. There's always going to be somebody in your life, whether you listen to them or not, does not neglect the fact that they're there. They have this information that's meant just for you. It could be your grandmother, it could be a family friend, it could be a cousin, it could be a brother, sister, somebody who's always walking with you. They have some information for you. Now, whether you want to take it or not, doesn't matter what side of the track you on, but that information is for you about life and what you're trying to do. What's the goal? What is your goal in life? What's the legacy you trying to leave behind? See, I'm at the point now, I never thought I would be the old guy walking in the comedy club, although I ain't over 40 or nothing, but because of how long I've been in the business, I'm considered the old guy. So now when I walk in there, there's a bunch of young guys that come around and they sit around and they want to just know information, which I freely give because somebody gave it to me. And it's your obligation to do it for somebody else. Your life ain't just meant for you. You have to understand that you're just here to just keep the pride of what you're doing intact. My job is to help every young comedian I can in whatever way I can. I owe that to Mr. Harvey and everybody who came before me. I don't own the business I'm in right now. We are merely here to just advance what it is we're doing. And the way you have to do that is you have to make sure that the next group of guys that come up know all the stuff that you know. And then their experiences will teach them, because I have to leave the game in a better position than what I found it. So that's why when you see me, always happy, smiling, doing my thing, laughing and laughing some more and gonna keep laughing and ain't gonna stop laughing, telling jokes. Okay, how you feel? You come around me and you ain't feeling good. Well, you're gonna change your attitude because I think mine gonna outshine yours. I'm not gonna allow you to be around me with a messed up attitude. If that's the case, I'd just rather leave. I'll go where I'm appreciated and not tolerated. That's why I just look at it like that. And that's my attitude. Man, that your attitude can make a world of difference. If it's just going right, if you feel bad, you always talk about all stuff. Guess what's going to happen? A lot more bad stuff finna happen because you keep talking about it. Something good happened, you ain't even see it because you focused on the bad. Man, I ain't gonna never get no date. Now, would you like to go to the movies with me? No, ma'am, I'm fine, thank you. I ain't gonna never get no date. I ain't gonna.
You're right. I tell people the exact same thing all the time.
Wasn't that a date that just came up and asked you because you don't see it? You just all you talk about. You beat yourself up. You don't give yourself no kind of fair shot. None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Well, that is an amazing story, and I am so glad that Steve saw it in you, because I remember when you came on the show, and I told you that too. A lot of people thought it was another one of Tommy's characters. We were like, but I told you, I am a researcher. I was searching online, and I figured, I said, I was telling everybody, I go, his name is Kier Spates. They're like, no, it's Tommy. I go, no, he is a person. His name is Kier Spates.
Yeah, I went through that little phase
one day
for a
he
little
just
bit.
showed up, and I'm like, is this?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna find him. I went online and was a searching, and I go,
I had that little period. Yeah, I had that little period where they thought I was actually Tommy. I mean, it was like, it was funny. Like, yeah, they got this guy on there named Junior. They was actually talking to me. Yeah, that ain't no but Tommy characters. I said, no, I'm Junior. No. Yeah, whatever. It's one of Tommy characters. He played too much, I was like, no, I mean, that really thought I did not even exist.
I said, I got to figure this out. I remember I was listening daily for somebody to please clarify who is Junior.
Yeah.
So
Me and Tommy was talking at the same time, and it still was Tommy. I didn't understand.
Right. But Tommy does that, though, because he would do Eugene back and forth, and he had me confused on Eugene for a minute till we went to the live recording at the Essence Festival years ago. I mean, woke up, mind you, the night before we were at House of Blues with Chico the Barge, didn't get to bed till late, woke up top of the morning to be there at 5 a.m. Me and my sister was crawling in there, and I'm like, Lord, all I know is Eugene better show up, Alicia. I'm so sleepy. And when he came out with that purple boa, good morning, I was on the floor. I said, we were right. It is
Oh,
Tommy.
my gosh.
This man is a fool.
He's stupid. He really is. No, he really is stupid.
Yeah.
He is.
But so now you moved to Atlanta, but you still, because of course we're Facebook friends, so I see you got gigs every 5 minutes. So you every weekend you in another city?
Yeah. Just about. Yeah, it feels like that. Just about. That's not a bad thing.
No, it's not at all. That's the nature of the business.
That part I told you. Yeah, that's the part I told you. I just go, for whatever the cause is or whatever we're doing, I just go, so I don't really, and it's fun though. You see, you got to enjoy doing it though. It's really fun. The people that I meet and run across and laugh with, I have a wonderful time, doing that. So, I'm always on the go. I mean, it ain't like, look who I work for. I mean, they ain't like I have a choice.
Right. Right. You got big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
So this weekend, Kier was at the Sickle Cell Foundation event in Baltimore because he has sickle cell and you have a foundation. So tell us what it was like growing up with sickle cell quickly. And then also, please tell us about your foundation and how can all of us support your foundation?
Growing up with sickle cell when I was growing up was very difficult. I was diagnosed at 7 years old with sickle cell disease, and to have a baby and you not know what's wrong with them for 7 years is very scary, because I wouldn't stop crying and hollering, and but the one thing that I will say for sickle cell is it has really shaped me into the man that I am today. Being in the hospital a lot and in pain crises and get back out and go back to doing what you do as a regular life, I just don't let it hold me down. It's just one of those things, like I vowed to never let sickle cell take anything away from me again. And it's just about finding that silver lining. I think a lot of people with sickle cell have something that a lot of people may not have, is that they don't quit when it gets tough. Because once you almost died 7 times, the light bill coming late ain't really that important to me.
You got that right.
Yeah, they're about to cut my lights off. They about to cut my life off. So you told your lights, my life almost got cut off.
Right.
I got
my mother performed CPR to bring me from the other side too, so I completely understand. When you've been told that story a couple times, you like, everything else is really not that big of a deal.
Everything's not, and I learned that at a very young age. I've died almost 7 times, but the Kier's Hope Foundation is where we're working to change the shape of sickle cell. Because if we change the shape of sickle cell, we'll find a cure. But Kier's Hope is not Junior's hope. It's not because there's a difference, because Junior's an entertainer, but Kier's a real person, and I'm a patient too. You know, I mean, Junior don't go in the hospital. You know, Kier goes in the hospital. You know, Junior don't have sickle cell. Kier has sickle cell, and I wanted to distinctly define the two. That it is my hope that we find a cure, and we're all about researching all the funds for sickle cell. The money that we raise for sickle cell goes into researching for a cure for sickle cell, because the amount of money that we receive for the government is so low, staggering, compared to other.
But we know why that is. We won't.
Well, but see, that's my thing. I'm not into why that is. It's been that way for a very long time.
It sure has.
And the attitude has to be, we're going to find a cure regardless. You know, I'm only interested in the solutions. That's all we're interested in.
Yep.
We can complain, put complaints up here for the longest. So if you would like to support Kier's Hope, and we really hope you do, you can go to Kier's Hope, KIERSHOPE.org. That's KiersHope.org.
And I will include that link in the bottom below this video, so everyone will have the hyperlink to go right to it.
Thank you. Yeah. I would greatly appreciate it. You know, we really want to make a difference, and that is my commitment to finding a cure. I started this foundation to make my commitment to the fight. You know, I was down at the Nationals this weekend, and they asked me something. Well, do you know any other celebrities with sickle cell and all that? And no, I don't. No, I didn't know we were supposed to be shamed and hiding. Well, I know T-Boz. I'm just outside the ones we know. They were just saying that so many others. You know, like I didn't know we were supposed to be ashamed of having sickle cell. I never was. You know, I just didn't have anybody to talk to it about. But now I found out that, you know, and I do want people to come down to the national convention. It is so amazing when you find out, you get around people who have like minds and understand you. Because for so long, nobody understood what it really I was going through, you know. And to find that comfort, man, and we do have fun, and it's all different types of personalities. It's like one big happy family. You know, I always have fun every year I go down there. You get re-energized for next year for the fight, and man, we're gonna have a lot of great events. So if you hear about Team Junior coming to town, you just might want to come on out there and have a good time with us, because there's always going to be something fun that we're going to be doing. You know, I believe in sickle cell patients having fun, and it's something that we don't get to do a lot of times. So when we are healthy enough to have fun, let's just start enjoying life. That's what we're going to be about. It's KiersHope.org.
Thank you. So we have a question from Bam. Bam is asking, what do you hope to accomplish as a comedian or what is your goal, or where are you trying to go?
You was kind of breaking up there, but I hope I heard the question right. What is my goal? What are you trying to accomplish
with what you're doing? So are you trying to, you know, become a writer for sitcoms? Are you trying to become an actor on television and movies? What is it?
I'm trying to do this at the highest level possible, which is TVs, movies, tours. Those are my goals. I think I have a lot to share, a lot to say, and I'm steady growing because I'm still discovering myself as a stand-up and as a person. You know, my life has changed so much from when it was just 3 years ago. You know, there's a lot of differences that I'm just now getting accustomed to, and I really don't know how to. You know, if you know what I'm saying, somebody just dropped a Lamborghini off at your house tomorrow, what you gonna do? You're gonna try to go fast. I wanna go fast. Like Rickey Bobby Talladega. I wanna go fast, mama. I wanna go fast. You know, and that's what I wanna do though. But I wanna bring, you know, you know, I always hear people say, man, you're so down to earth and you're so much fun, you know, to talk to. And I want to unite that. You know, I want to be able to hang out with people, because I find out you learn a lot more when you talk to people from different walks of life and have gone through a lot of different things. And, you know, I want to bring that wall down. You know, I'm accessible. I'm not hard to get at. You know, people's like, people hit me up on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. They're like, I didn't expect you to respond. I said, well, who you thought was going to respond? I mean, it's my name on the page. It is. Who back here responding for me? Somebody else sent you something? You know, what's going on? You know, So, if you do want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, you can follow me at Junior SHMS. That's JUNIORSHMS. And man, you send me a message, I'll send you one right back. If you say hi, I say hi. So that's
do you have stuff that you'd like to plug?
Huh?
Do you have any shows coming up that you would like to plug?
Oh, the next show I'm gonna have, I got some other events, but the next show I'll do is gonna be Thanksgiving weekend in Richmond, Virginia, at the Funny Bone. That's the 27th and the 28th. Two shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. So, I'm gonna have Thanksgiving with the fam. Then I'm saying, hey, look, y'all, I gotta go because the people in Richmond waiting on me. And I told them I was coming, so I'm gonna be down there if y'all looking for me. But thank y'all for the turkey and dressing. I love you, mama. Bye, daddy. All right, granny, hold it down. Hey, sis, love you too. Bye. I'm out. That's how I'm gonna do it.
So, what other events? Whatever you want to plug, now's your chance to plug it away, and then I'll try and type it all up so everyone knows.
Well, you know what? I don't want to put the other events out there because I have a big announcement I'm going to be making. And I don't want to do all that shit because, you know what I'm saying? Because, I've been over here working and God and his good grace and mercy has really shined on your boy. And I must go ahead and just let that saturate. You have to listen to the show Monday through Friday, 6 to 10 to get that information. And, I must just hold on to that. I cannot say this, but I'm very excited. I know that much, and y'all will be too. But thank you so much for just reminding me of the blessing that had been bestowed upon me. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
Yes, sir. Like real hard men when they praise God. Yes, sir. Thank you, Jesus. Hey. Praise him.
So you have to, before you leave, you have to explain this just got serious.
That is something that I used to say, man, when I'm about to get ignorant, and like that's right before I walk out. And I had my boy who was on the road back there, and he looked at me and said, "What's about to go down?" I said, "Hey man, we about to laugh, but this just got serious." Because it's serious business when I go out there and get on that stage. It is serious business. And the moment I walk out there is the moment that it just got serious for everybody, isn't it? We're gonna be laughing, but it's a serious moment.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. This has been wonderful. I think that this was great for anybody in any career, but definitely for the young comedians coming up. Just don't give up.
Yeah, never give up.
Don't give up. Never give up. Because when you're about to give up is when it's about to happen.
Man.
So you shouldn't give up. Because then it's going to happen.
Thank you so much.
And then you pass it on to the next person, and that was your opportunity.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
So we will be back next week. I don't know the guest yet. We're having a little trouble getting that secured, but we will be back next week, same time, same place. You can find me everywhere at Ask Dr. Renee, all social media platforms. Also, for those Droid users, I have an app. Ask Dr. Renee is the name of the app. It's free. Please download it. And you can see shows. You can read my blog. You can find me, basically. If you do download the app.
Got an app now?
Yep. And then, you guys, if you are on Periscope every night at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, 11 Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific, I do a TV show on Periscope called Renee's Remedies. So I look forward to seeing you there. But this show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life you deserve. And just like Junior just said, we got to go for it. You cannot wait. You have to go for it. This is our one life, the one only one we got. This is not a drug. Whatever it is, whatever your dream is, your idea, just go for it. And don't worry about what everybody else says because, look what he did. Don't worry about what they say. Just do it. And then you can show them later, look what I did. So thank you so much for tuning in. Junior, don't go anywhere. And I will see you guys next week.